Jackal's Game of Power, a Panchtantra story where one small mind dared to control the king of the jungle. When a terrifying roar shakes the jungle, one tiny jackal does not run. He sees an empire to build. This is how it outwits strength. Deep in the heart of an ancient Indian forest, a strange, thunderous bellow shakes the trees. The animals freeze in fear. But one small figure slips through the shadows, ears pricked. It is Damnaka, the jackal, curious and clever. Creeping closer through the ferns, Damnaka parts the leaves and stops cold. There, grazing peacefully by a stream, is not a monster at all, but Sanjeevaka, a huge white bull. His deep moo echoing like a war drum. Damnaka's eyes widen, then narrow with a sly grin. His fear turns to joy in an instant. He realizes the sound that terrified the mighty Lion King came only from this harmless, grass-eating bull. Standing hidden, Damnaka's mind races. He thinks to himself, "This is my chance. If I can make the lion and the bull friends or enemies as I choose, then the king will need me." A king without trouble ignores his minister. With his plan forming, Damnaka trots quickly back through the sun-dappled forest. He heads straight for the great banyan tree where Pingalka the lion holds court, his heart beating fast with ambition. He arrives and bows low, touching his forehead to the earth before the massive lion. Pingalka sits on a root throne, his golden mane glowing, his eyes still uneasy from the strange sound. The lion leans forward, his voice a low rumble. "So, Damnaka," he asks, "did you see him? Did you find the creature who made that terrible noise?" Damnaka lifts his head, calm and confident. "With your good favor, my lord," he replies smoothly, "I have seen him with my own eyes." Pingalka narrows his eyes. Suspicious. Honestly, he growls. "Are you telling me the truth? You are not trying to fool your king?" The jackal smiles, placing a paw on his chest. "My lord, who would dare lie to you?" he says, his voice dripping with flattery. "The great lion is feared by all." Pingalka relaxes slightly, nodding wisely. "It is true," he says. "You have seen him and lived. The great do not fight the weak. The storm spares the bending grass, but uproots the tall proud trees." Seizing his moment, Damnaka steps closer. "However great this creature may be, my lord, just say the word, and I, with my wit, will make him your humble servant." The lion lets out a long breath. He did not know he was holding. A look of relief washes over his fierce face. "What?" he asks in wonder. "Could you really do such a thing for me?" Damnaka puffs his chest out proudly. "What is impossible for a man of intelligence?" he declares. "Strength wins a battle, but wit wins a kingdom." Impressed, Pingalka rises to his full height. Then, from this very day, he proclaims, "I appoint you, Damnaka, as my chief minister. Serve me well." Damnaka bows deeply again, hiding his triumphant grin. He turns and trots away from the king's court, his new title giving his step a confident swagger as he heads back to the bull. Finding Sanjeevaka still grazing, Damnaka changes his tone completely. He puffs up and scolds loudly. Despicable ox, he barks. How dare you? Bellow at odd hours and frighten our master Pingalka, the lion. The great bull lifts his massive head, chewing slowly, confused. He looks down at the tiny jackal. My dear fellow, he asks gently, who is this Pingalka you speak of? Dammika gasps in mock horror. What? You have not heard of King Pingalka? He cries, pointing a paw toward the distance. He sits under the great banyan, lord of this entire jungle, surrounded by his army. Hearing this, Sanjeevaka's heart sinks. His ears droop and his legs tremble slightly. He realizes he is alone in a predator's kingdom. My friend, he pleads, you seem kind. Please get me a promise of safety before you take me to him. Dammika nods solemnly, pretending wisdom. You are right to ask, he says. A man can cross oceans and climb mountains, but no one can fathom the heart of a king. Wait here, I will arrange it. Dammika rushes back to Pingalka, his face now serious with a lie. Master, he whispers, that is no ordinary bull. He is the sacred mount of Lord Shiva himself, sent to graze on the Yamuna's grass by Shiva's blessing. Pingalka's eyes go wide with terror. He steps back, his mane bristling. Now I understand, he gasps. How else could a grass-eater walk fearless here unless protected by a god? Still shaking, the lion asks, but Dammika, what did you tell him when you learned he belonged to Shiva? The jackal answers smoothly. I told him this forest was gifted to you by goddess Durga, whose own mount you are. I invited him to stay as your brother, to feast and play. He agreed, but only if you guarantee his life. Pingalka nods eagerly, relieved to have a plan. Well done, my efficient minister, he says. You have spoken my very thoughts. Tell him his life is safe, but bring me his promise of peace in return. Go quickly. Dammika jackal bows low and trots away, but inside his mind is singing. He thinks gleefully, my master trusts me completely now. He dances to my tune. I must be the luckiest jackal alive. Returning to the anxious bull, Dammika puts on his most respectful face. Friend, he says warmly, I have spoken to the king. He has promised your life will be safe. Come with me now, without fear. Then his voice turns sly again. But remember, when we arrive, you must respect me as you respect yourself. Do not let pride ruin us. A man who does not honor the high, middle, and low will be ruined, like Dantila was, though he was the king's favorite. Sanjeevaka blinks, curious despite his fear. How was that? He asks. How was Dantila ruined? Dammika smiles, ready to spin his next tale as they walk together toward the lion's court. Moral of the story: fear makes even a king listen to a servant, and wit without wisdom can bind the strong to the weak. Dammika did not create power, he created need. True leadership needs truth, not just clever stories. If you enjoyed this Panchtantra tale, like, share, and subscribe for more timeless Indian stories retold in Bharat Tales Saga.